In this video, we will see how to create a slider and add it to a website built on Framework360. What is a slider? A slider is our content that is usually added at the beginning of websites, featuring an image, a video, and possibly some text on top. As we can see, for example, on this demo site built with the artificial intelligence of Framework360, this slider, as we can see, includes a background image and then a text on top and a description. If we want to add a similar slider, we need to go to our environment under the website section and look for sliders. It will be very simple. We just need to click on the add button, and here we will simply need to add a title. For example, this is the slider for the home page. We can call it homepage slider. We should decide on a height. For the slider, for example, we can set it to 750 pixels, but we can also choose the unit of measurement to be BH or VV. Here we could decide if the slides should change automatically. For example, after 5 seconds, we can decide whether to have it return to the first slide when they finish or stop directly at the last one. We can say yes. We can decide whether to add arrows on the right and left so that the visitor to our website can change the slides. We say yes there, and here we can decide whether to randomize the order of the slides. This way, it won't follow the order we set below, but will be in a random order. We go down to the slide section and see that here we can, for example, name it slide 1. And as we go down, we can decide what type of background. For example, we can decide the size of the background, meaning the image that we are about to upload. Either auto, cover, usually the most used, because it covers the entire width of the screen on any type of screen. Indeed, contain, if we want the image to remain within the section. Initial and inherit will be other settings that those familiar with CSS will know. Moving forward, here we could decide whether to repeat the image. In case it does not cover the entire section, we could decide to repeat the same image until it covers the entire section. Usually, no repeat is set because the background size is set to cover. Here we could decide the position of the slide. Usually, center is used, but it can also be easily modified. And the position of the slide within the section. The attachment. In this case, we can decide whether it should be fixed to the scroll or fixed, and that's it. To create a sort of parallax and other settings, usually the attachment is left as default. Desktop image and mobile image. Here we can upload our image for all desktop devices. Let's select a demo one by clicking save, even if we don't select it. The mobile image Framework360 will reproduce the desktop version on smartphones. Obviously, we recommend also adding a mobile version, perhaps cropped to a square, to avoid overloading the loading on 4G, 5G, etc. If we don't want to add an image but prefer to add a video, we can easily select a link from YouTube or Vimeo so that Framework360 can display it as a background, indeed, on our slider automatically here. We could decide whether to keep replaying the video indefinitely, hide it at the end, or stop it on the last frame. Here we can decide whether to display the video only on tablets, only on mobile, or on all devices, and all 3 types of devices. Here, we can decide whether to add an overlay, which is a sort of colored gradient over the image, or select a flat color, a plain color, let's say, without gradient, without shading. As we can see, in fact, by changing the color, the overlay will be added over the image. And with opacity, for example, at 30%. We can create a very nice transparency effect. In this case, let's remove it. Usually, for example, using black at 40% works perfectly. By doing so, any text we place with the visual builder over, the image will be readable. For example, here we can give it a warm light, a color, and position it in the center. By clicking save on our slider, we can say it will be ready to be inserted on the home page of our site. To insert it on the home page of the site, we just need to go inside Site, Web, Pages. And as always, go and add the content we have created within our web pages. As we can see, in fact, it will be very simple because by clicking on the content, a very convenient visual builder will open where we just need to search for the slider and add it in the section we consider most suitable to contain our slider. Once the block is inserted, we just need to select it. As we can see, it will be proposed to us. And here it is. This will be our slider that we created a little while ago. If we want, for example, we can also create a new row, move the row to the beginning, and then move the slider to the initial part, modifying the settings of the row that contains the slider. We can set it to full width and in the Design tab possibly remove the padding above and below. By doing so, clicking Save and reloading the page, we will have our slider on the home page with our black overlay at 40% opacity and the title we inserted in the module. At any time, of course, we could change it by clicking on Website Sliders and adding new content. For example, let's try to insert a video from YouTube. We simply copy the video link and paste it here. As we can see, it's a classic YouTube watch link with the video code. I keep repeating view on desktop, tablet, and maybe not on mobile. Let's leave it only on desktop and tablet. We reload the page, and as we can see, our video will have appeared with autoplay and with infinite loop.